Now, I've got a bunch of videos here. I've got everything from a $200 budget apartment all the way up to a $1,000 penthouse with a beach view. Depends what you want. There are a lot of options here. There's even luxury villas you can get for $1,500, $2,000 a month that have their own pool or jacuzzi. It's really everything you want here. But I'm going to show you a smattering of cribs, and you just got to think about this as a baseline though. You know, before you get all fancy with the crib, you're going to be sleeping in that apartment. You're going to be maybe watching some TV and chilling in the rainy season, take a shower. But there's so much to do outside. This city is so big. There are so many things to do, so many adventures to be had all over the country. What I want you to think about is where you're going to put your time and money in all the fun stuff you could be doing, or a beautiful, beautiful spot that overlooks the beach. Depends on your budget and where you're at. If you've got the money to spend, screw it then, get you a beach spot. But if you want to enjoy the most of Vietnam, and if you want to have fun and you want to travel and do different activities, I would recommend something lower end, because the reality is you're going to sleep in it. Now, most apartments do come furnished. That's like 99%. Most do come with free Wi-Fi. Electric is depending on how many units you have and how much you want to run it. To give you an idea, I'm going to do a whole thing on utilities next. Now, something I want to talk about right now is the increase in prices. You hear a lot of talk about it. People ask me all the time, is it getting more expensive? Is it getting more expensive? Yes and no. And I'll break it down. When I first got here in Da Nang City, it's completely changed. There is so much building that started when I got here. High rises, small apartments, condos, stuff is going up every which way. I think rental-wise things were pretty tight and they had a lot of leverage. What has happened in the year and a half that I've been here is things have gotten wide open. Because of all the building, guess what? There is a lot more units. There are new buildings opening up every single day. And guess what? They need people in them, especially now that it's getting into the end of the season. I know one guy that moved into a building and went to leave to go to another building, and the landlord cut his rent by almost a half, saying, stay, 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 I want you to stay. So that tells me, and I've heard other places, people tell me their building is half full. I think prices will be leveling off and or dropping down next season. I don't see it to where there's going to be people jacking up these places. Like the one I used to live in went from 300 to 400 like that. And it wasn't that great of a place. It was all right. I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't new, it wasn't modern, and didn't have a lot of amenities. And we're going to get into that next. Let's talk neighborhoods. There are four main places in Da Nang City I would recommend living. There is Hai Chow and Tan K, which are more local and affordably priced. That's city living. That's down in it, 1 million people, buildings everywhere, stuff buzzing by. Everything's walkable in your neighborhood. You can probably find a pharmacy, you can find a coffee shop, you can find a market. Prices are much lower there, probably 25 or 30% lower than the other two main residential districts in the city. That's My An, and that's Sun Cha. My An is more tourist-centric. Sun Cha is more local, beachy. It's got a different vibe. Sun Cha is the hottest district in the city. Prices there are more expensive, but you still can find deals. So those are your four main areas, depending on what you want. Do you want everything walkable? Do you want to live in the city? Do you want to live like a 5-minute walk from the beach? It depends, but you will pay extra for the beach vibe. That's just a fact. Another thing I cannot stress enough, I say this to everybody, some listen and some don't. Stay off of Facebook. 90% of what's up there is bullshit. You can find an apartment there, but there are so many scamsters running ads out of there. They will show you a beautiful place that doesn't exist for a really low price. If it's too good to believe, if it's too good to be true, guess what? It is. I got scammed myself when I first got here out of the Facebook. Guy showed me an apartment. I gave him some cash for deposit. I came back a week later. Guess what? Dude wasn't there. Dude didn't want to pick up my call. And that's part of it. And there's so many desperados posting up pictures of fake apartments and running that are agents out of Facebook. It's rampant. So please be careful and do not get caught up in it. I don't know how many times I've booked a client in and they send me a message, oh my God, I just saw this great place for $100 a month right on the beach. And I got to say, just stop. Don't. I told you not to look, and now you're looking. So do yourself a favor. Stay off the Facebook. Stay off the apartment section. You're just going to get worked up for nothing. It's such a scam, and it's something that needs to be dealt with, because an agent here is just somebody that calls himself an agent. They're not licensed. They're not belonging to anything. It's a guy that's working at the grocery store that does this at night, scalps out listings from random landlords, and then puts them up there and shows you some shit. And that's what happens every single day. Although you can find one, there are people that do find them. But what you have to go through to get it, it ain't worth it. Now, utilities are usually separate. Some luxury buildings it's factored in, but it's generally between $5 and $15 a month for water, garbage service, or whatever. Some places do have housekeeping, and that's generally $10, $15 a month. It's not much, a couple dollars a week for housekeeping in most joints. Some have laundry that's factored in as well. It depends on the place, but it's minimal. I think for the one place I had, it was $300 a month for utilities, electric, laundry, all these things. It was less than $50 a month, but it was a small room, and I only had one AC unit. The place I'm living in now has 3 AC units and 2 bedrooms. My electric last month running nonstop. I keep it like an icebox. Non-stop electric in there was about $120, about $120 to run the electric non-stop. 3 of us living there. And you have to know Wi-Fi is pretty much free throughout the country. Wi-Fi completely free in any apartment I've ever been. But I will give you this caveat. In some places, the speed is not the greatest in the world. And for what I do, I'm always uploading and downloading and streaming and doing all these things. I need a great connection. So in this unit I'm in right here, I got FPT fiber internet. It was $20 for 6 months. Yeah, I know. And they came and hooked it up that day. I shot one text, they hooked it up like Johnny on the spot. Also, too, I got FPT cable TV. They brought a little cable box, and that was about $20 for 6 months. And they have HBO, Cinemax, a bunch of American channels that you can get. Sporting events, Cartoon Network, CNN, there's pretty much all the stuff. There was a whole tablet of American channels, and I'll probably do something on that for TikTok and YouTube coming up. If you like American sports, I would say an Amazon Fire Stick, and that's in the Expat Playbook. That's a freebie. Jailbreak an Amazon Fire Stick and download your apps and VPN, and you can watch them all here. I did it all last year. So that's a breakdown of utilities. It's generally, you figure about $50 a month for all utilities, unless you have a bigger place with more AC where you're going to push more electricity. And they give you, it's about 4,000 VND, which is about 25 cents per kilowatt hour. They'll give you a rating on a meter and show you every month, just so you know they're not playing any games. It's straightforward and honest. On all apartments, you usually get a 3 months, 6 months, or a year lease. They give you options on that. And I'm going to do something on that next. That's in the next segment. Let's talk move-in costs. Most apartments, when you move in, ask you for a month's rent up front and a security deposit, which is usually equal to a month's rent. There are some places that require 2, especially if you want a shorter lease. If you ask for a shorter lease, you're probably going to have to pay 2 months rent up front. Now, just so you know, if you break your lease, you will not get your deposit back. I've had several people that are clients that have come in that have gone, oh man, I want to go to this place, or oh, I want to move in with my girlfriend, or oh, this and that, let me just get out of this lease, what can you do for me? I can't do nothing for you. You sign it on the paper, that's a contract. If you want to leave, that's on you. But just know this, you will forfeit your deposit. For one of my clients, it was $1,000. But everybody has to make their own decision. So make sure you like it before you get into it. And I usually tell people when they come over, spend a week here, spend a few days looking around, get the vibe, figure out what you want, because each neighborhood, each area that I mentioned earlier is completely different, has a completely different vibe, and you got to make sure it's right for you. Different people want different things. So when you get an apartment, price point isn't the overall factor. If you want to be close to the beach, get a place close to the beach. If you want to be in the city, live with the locals, then get one over there. You know, you really have to think about what you want out of life, what you want your life to look like. Do you want access to a gang of restaurants, a gym, different things? These should all be questions that you ask. Yeah? So there it is. Apartments 101, Vietnam style. It's completely different, completely different than anything in the States. You know, you're used to over there, it's a fixed price. It's always going to be the same year round. Utilities are high and it's hard to get into. There is no credit check here to get into a place. If you bring cash or you bring your scan code with Moretta Pay, you can get a place as easy as walking up, scanning a QR code, getting a lease and a key. It's that easy. I've gotten apartments several times just like that. I was in the hospital when I got this crib. Just messaged the guy, yeah, I'm going to be over there. I'm getting out of the hospital today at 12 o'clock. I'll see you over there at 1 o'clock. Boom, it was there. Brought the cash, got the lease, got the key, just like that.
Good morning.
Chabo saying, eh? So that's Apartments 101 Vietnam style. Check out all the cribs in here. I've got a smattering of them from low key to high end. Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love.